there, it's Carol with Carol B Crafts. Today we'll be doing our final card in my Cool Treats online class, which is available through June 22nd, 2017. You can get the details on my blog, www.carolbcrafts.com. I have to say that I really enjoyed using the stamps and dies for this class, Cool Treats and Frozen Treats Framelits. Now, you may have seen this bundle on the retiring list, but that doesn't mean that these are going away. It just means that in the new catalog, they'll no longer be available as a bundle. So I suggest if you want to purchase these, purchase them before June 1st, and you can purchase the bundle and save 10%. And I really think that you will enjoy them. They're fun and versatile. And so let's get to today's class. In today's class, we'll be doing a fun easel card. And easel cards are really nice for displaying at your office or at home. And I like this one particularly because it uses my favorite little spoon die. So the dies that you'll need to make these easel cards, and you'll be making two, you'll need the dish die, the ice cream scoop die, the fudge topping die with the little drip on the left, the spoon, like I said, this little cherry die, and the tiny little round sprinkles die. The stamps that we'll be using three. Happiest Birthday, and I have that on a D block. Then you'll also be using Cool, which I have on a C block. And then the tiny little strawberry, little dots for the strawberry. We're actually going to use that one for the decoration on the dish. But if you don't have, we're going to use Pool Party, so if you don't have Pool Party, you might want to just leave that part out. But for the inks that we'll be using, we'll need the Pool Party, like I said, for the decoration. The Peekaboo Peach, and again, this is going to be for doing a little shading around the ice cream, or this could actually be a sherbet, an orange sherbet. Just gives it a little more detail. But if you don't have the Peekaboo Peach, then don't worry about it. It'll be just as cute. And then chocolate chip, of course, we've been using that all along for the sentiments, and I think chocolate chip is a good choice for the sentiments with this Tasty Treats paper. Now, the paper that we've been using, Tasty Treats, is still available. It is on low inventory, but it is available. So if you do purchase the bundle, you would definitely want to get that paper, along with some Watermelon Wonder cardstock, which is going to be retiring June 1st. And Watermelon Wonder cardstock is used with, is one of the matching cardstocks with the Tasty Treats DSP that they offer. So along with the dies and stamps, you'll need your last packet from your card class kit. And in there you'll find one whole sheet of thick Whisper White cardstock for our card base, a half a sheet of regular Whisper White for a panel for our front. You'll find half a sheet of Pool Party, a quarter sheet of Watermelon Wonder, and then these two pieces of DSP, and they measure 4 3/4 this way by 3 1/2 this way. These come from the Flourishing Phrases dies. Well, actually, it's the Flourish Thinlits dies, and it's this long little die right here, this decorative die right here. I use that for these. And I use this just kind of to help keep the card open. The card rests on that, and it stays open a little better for display. Now these come pre-cut for you, and they are the smallest oval in the layering oval framelits, and the smallest scalloped oval in the layering oval framelits. And of course this is our delicate white doily. I do give you an extra one of those ovals for the sentiment in case you need it. And I include a little piece of metallic cardstock, the silver metallic cardstock, and this is 1.5 by 1 1/4 inches. Okay, we're going to cut our cardstock, and we're going to go do for our bases, and it'll be 5 1/2, basically cutting it in half. So we have our card bases here, and then the next thing we'll cut will be our whisper white, and we're going to cut that at 5 this way, lengthwise, and then we'll turn it and we'll cut it at 3 3/4 and 3 3/4 again. Then we'll take our pool party, and it should be 5 1/2 this way, and we're going to cut it at 4 1/4. So basically we're just cutting this one in half like this. Our Watermelon Wonder, we're going to cut that at 1 inch, and then 1 inch again, and then we'll turn that and cut that at 4.75 or 4 3/4. Okay, then that's all the cutting that we need to do. Next, we'll score our cardstock, our card bases, and this is 8 1/2, so we're going to score it in half at 4 1/4. And then we're going to turn it and score it at 2 1/8. Then we'll fold what we just scored down, turn it over, and then fold that down. And we'll use our bone folder in just a moment. So again, 4 1/4, turn it 2 1/8, fold this down, fold this up, and we're done with our scoring tool. Next we'll get our bone folder and crease our folds. And that's really important with this card, is that we have nice creased folds so that it lays right when it's displayed. So we'll just take a minute and really crease those good with the bone folder. I think I did this one like that. Okay. Alright, I think that's good enough. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to start building up our card front. So we'll start with our pool party, and what we'll do is get our white, we need our white panels that is going to go here over our pool party, and then we need our DSP. These will be our little, just our decorative bars down there, strips. Now we're going to take, and I forgot to do this, so let me bring back in our scoring tool, not scoring tool, our trimmer, and we actually want to cut this in half. And so I look for this tip and this tip here, like a little peak, and I just kind of put them in the center of my cutting track. And it doesn't have to be perfectly centered, but then we're just going to cut that so that we have two pieces. We're going to fold it so that this is near the bottom of our Watermelon Wonder. I feel like I can't talk today. Okay, so I'm going to trim this a little. Sometimes these doilies have like a little stub on them. So I'm trimming that and then put it down towards the bottom and then just kind of fold it over. Put it in the middle. Fold it over like that. We'll do the other one. Looks like it needs to be trimmed too, just a little bit. Put it towards the bottom. Fold it over. Now we'll put some adhesive on the back strip along the top so that we can adhere this to the back and make sure I get it even. And we'll do the same for this one. Put it in the center and then fold it over. And then I like to just put a tiny little bit of its adhesive there in the front to hold that down. Just a little in the front there. So we'll go ahead and build our card front. Get my little waxy strip, and this is just leftover waxy strip from our glue dots, in case you're wondering. I use it to help position my layers because I'm not too good at it otherwise. Okay, so I'll push down there, and then pull the strip out. Push it down, and then I'll add this, and that's the DSP layer. Put that in the center of the white. Looks like there's about 1/8 of an inch around. Push down, down, and pull. And then let's go ahead and add this as well. And it's just going to go even with our DSP here at the bottom. So that's a little bit easier to manage for me. Do this one now. Do our white panel. And then our DSP. Sometimes I think I'm too much of a perfectionist when it comes to these layers. Okay, I think that's about right. Can't get too picky, or then it's no longer fun. It gets to be stressful. And that's not what crafting is all about. That's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to get away from the stress. Okay, now we are pretty much ready to go ahead and put this on our card base. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this, the top of this, against the top of that. We're going to adhere it like that. And it should cover up your card pretty well. If you need to trim your card, then you can do that as well. But that looks like that's going to be pretty good. And I think it's better to put the adhesive on this part when you're going to put it on. So this is the top, that's the top. And we're just going to line it up even. Might be easier to do it this way. Even with the cardstock below. Okay. Now it's our easel card. So we'll do the same for this one. We'll put adhesive at the top. And then we'll put the top of this along the top of that. Okay. So now that we have our card bases, we're ready to go ahead and do some stamping. And we're going to stamp our card bases right down here at the bottom with the happiest birthday. So we'll need our piercing mat and our chocolate chip ink. I keep wanting to say chocolate icing. I guess just making these cards makes me hungry. Okay, so we'll get our chocolate chip ink and we'll stamp up happiest birthday, ink it up, and then this doesn't want to lay flat, so I'm going to put something heavy on it to keep it down flat while I do my stamping. I don't want those in the way though when I go to do my stamping. So I'm going to stamp at the bottom. Hope I'm in camera. Let me move up a little bit. Stamp at the bottom, right there. Okay, and then we'll do the other one. Use these to hold down the cardstock so it doesn't come up while we're trying to stamp. And happiest birthday. And then while those are drying, we'll get our little sentiments, our little ovals, and we'll get cool, and we'll stamp cool in the center. It might be a little tricky to get those. Oops, got ink on my finger. That's good. Might be a little tricky to get it to fit on there, but it will fit. And we'll do one more. Hopefully we won't need our third one, but it's nice to have that in case we need it. Okay, so we're done with our cool, and I guess we can't do any more stamping until we do our die cutting. So, or I should say inking. So we'll go ahead and let these dry before we put them on, because we don't want to smear the ink. So we'll put this away. Now for our die cutting, we'll need the silver for our spoons, Peekaboo Peach, what's left from this one, and then this from our die cut packets. We need Watermelon Wonder, we need the early espresso dark brown. For the dish, we need the pool party, and then we need the silicone release sheet of paper. So for this, we'll need to cut 6 of the little scoops out of Peekaboo Peach. We should be able to get 3 out of there and 3 out of here. And then for the Watermelon Wonder, we're going to need the little cherry, just one little cherry, that's all we need. And then we need our 2 dishes out of our pool party. And we need our ice cream toppings, 2 of those out of the early espresso and 2 of the little cherries out of the early espresso. We need the stems to be brown, and then we need the cherries to be the Watermelon Wonder color. So let me get those all cut. Oh, and we need 2 of the spoons out of the silver. So we'll cut 2 of the spoons out of the silver. So let's get all those cut and then we'll come back. Okay, I'm back. We have our 6 Peekaboo Peach ice cream scoops, our 2 pool party dishes, 2 of the early espresso fudge toppings, 2 Watermelon Wonder cherries, 2 early espresso cherries, and our 2 silver spoons. Now we're going to go ahead and put this together, but we need to do a little bit of stamping, so I'm going to slide all this over. We need to, if you're going to do this part, you'll need your pool party ink, and you'll need that little strawberry design. And you're going to do with the triangle with it pointing down. And you're just going to do 4 times, starting at the edge, and the top will be along the top of the dish. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this just adds a little interest. So if you don't do this part, it's not going to be, you know, terrible. It's just going to not have this, that's all. Because I know some of you may not have all the inks at this time. So we can put our pool party away. Now we're going to do the shading on our little ice cream scoops, if you want to do that. Now for the shading, when I do small items like this around the edge and I want to ink the edges, I use these eyeshadow applicators I get from Target. I think they're like $2.50 for 24, and then I just keep them and use them again so that I don't have to keep, you know, using a new one every time I ink with something. So I will put this in my little keeper and designate it as Peekaboo Peach. So let me get the Peekaboo Peach ink out. And then what I'm going to do is just dab into the ink and go around the corner, the edge, just lightly. And the only part that's going to show is the rounded top part, so we don't have to do the whole thing. And then I just take and kind of go around like this to give it kind of a swirly look. So we'll do this to all of our ice cream scoops, if that's what you want to do. If not, you can skip this step. Now we're going to do a little cutting, and because we're going to put these in the dishes, we probably want to cut some of the, to make them fit behind there, we need to cut some of the little ice cream scoop off. So we're going to cut this edge off of this one and this edge off of that one, the little scallop part on the side there, and that will help it to fit in the dish better. So we'll do that with 2 more. that edge, and then this edge. And then this one we don't have to worry about it because it's going to fit in the back like that. Now we've learned that it's easier to put our chocolate on this one before we put the others, put it together. Now the little cherries, we're going to cut the little stem off of the red, the Watermelon Wonder one. Cut the little stem off of it. And then the ones at the bottom, these are going to go underneath the little red. We're just going to trim them just a little bit so that we can still have something to glue the cherry on. I think we did one of these earlier, so this is probably familiar to you. So that's all that I have left. I don't know if you can see that. There's just enough left to put some glue on. So we'll trim this one as well. And we do this so that the brown isn't sticking out from behind the cherry, the red Watermelon Wonder color. Clean my mess up. Okay, we're going to work with our glue now. We'll go ahead and glue, and we want the stem to be curling to your right. Just put a little drop of glue on each one of those. The tiniest little drop of glue. And we'll lay our cherry down on top, kind of position it where we want it. And I just glued this one to my finger. That might actually be easier to put this against the cherry than put the cherry on top. However you can manage it, that's how you want to do it. Okay, so we have our two little cherries ready to go. I want to slide it up a little bit more. There. So now we will put on our ice cream scoops that we didn't cut, we're going to put the chocolate topping on with glue. And you have a little time to straighten it out if you need to. Okay, so from here on out I'm just going to do the one card for the sake of time. So we'll go ahead and put some glue across the back of our dish. Put a couple of rows. And then we're going to put our scoops of ice cream there on the back, like so. And we'll turn it around so that we can fit them in there so that they don't look like they're falling out of the dish. Then we'll put some glue on the little scallop parts of this ice cream scoop. Lay it here. Now I'll go ahead and do the other one off camera. Now for our sprinkles, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some sprinkles in the Pool Party in white and in the Watermelon Wonder. And what we're going to do is do our little trick of putting adhesive on the back. So in the corner here, about 1 inch square. Now you can use your waxy strips to do this from, if you don't have the silicone release paper from the class packet. Now you can see there's a no symbol. That means do not put that against the adhesive. Put the other side against the adhesive. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll cut one of the little sprinkles out of the Watermelon Wonder in this corner here, and that will put sticky on it. We'll do the same with this for white. Again, being careful to put the right side against the adhesive, because otherwise it won't work. And then lastly, oh, don't want to lose that little cherry. We'll do a little square in Pool Party. Okay, I'm going to cut out the first one. I'll go ahead and cut the Watermelon Wonder out, putting it up against the cardstock. So there's 8 little sprinkles in each one. Let me get my piercing tool. You'll definitely need your piercing tool for this, or something sharp. I'm taking the backing off right now, that silicone release paper or the waxy strip paper, whichever you used. Trying to keep it in the die. If I can keep the cardstock in the die, that's good. It doesn't always want to stay though. Sometimes the cardstock comes out when you're taking the paper off. Okay, so I got all the paper off. Now what I want to do is turn the die over, and I want to put, I want 4 on this one and 4 on that one, so I'm going to put 4. I just lay it down and push through. Lay it down here, push through, lay it down, push through, lay it down, push through. Okay, so there's 4 there. Somewhere I'm missing one. I don't know where it went. I'll find it. So 1 there. I'm just basically putting 1 on each of the, okay, so maybe it will show up. I don't know where it went. Okay, so now we're going to do that again with the Pool Party. Put it against the cardstock and run it through the Big Shot. Okay, and again we'll take that paper off the back. We're going to turn it over. Put 1 here, 1 there, 1 here. I think I'll put 2 here, and 1 here, and 1 here. And somehow I got 3 there. Put 1 more over there. I still don't know where that red one went to. It may show up here later. Okay, so then the last one we want to do is the white. And we will be sure to put our die against the cardstock. Now the white's a little harder to get this silicone release paper off. Mostly because it's the same color as the cardstock. Okay, So we're ready to turn it over and put the white ones on there. Just kind of put them wherever, randomly, wherever you think they should go. Okay, stop giving me trouble. If they don't stick, it's probably because the paper isn't off of them. Okay, so once you get your sprinkles there, now if you want more sprinkles, you can always do a few more sprinkles if you want. So I think we are ready to put our cherry on top. I'm going to do that with a glue dot, and it's almost like the perfect size to fit over a glue dot. And I'm going to remove it with this so that, because it's so small, and I kind of want to just put it right there. And let's see, I probably should have put these on before I put my little things, but I can move these aside. So you can move your little dots if you need to make room for your cherry. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll move this cherry here. It doesn't look right there. It needs to be more on the top. Well, I should have left good enough alone, right? Okay, that's good enough. Alright, let me clean up this mess. Okay, we're ready to finish assembling our card. We'll put these on with some snail. And they just set right on top of the little doily like this. Now the little silver spoon, I just take it and put a little tiny bend in it like that, and I use a glue dot to put it on my, looks like it's laying on the table. Put a glue dot on the back of the silver, and then I just lay it there like it's laying on the table. So again, put just a small bend in it. Now these come already with sticky on them. That's why they're on wax paper. So you just want to gently remove one of those. And that's going to go right above your happiest. Okay, so my camera stopped, so I'm not quite sure where it is at, but this is going to go even with the edge of the white, just below our DSP. Take this wax paper off. Okay, so our cards are finished. And these are going to be some really pretty cards to send to your friends. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this class. I've enjoyed it a lot. More than any class yet, I think, that I've done, just because it's so fun to have these, to play with all these little ice cream scoops and things. Thanks for taking my class, and check out my blog, www.carolbcrafts.com. Bye now.